Support matters. We need your help to keep providing engaging content with 90% of our readers not subscribed. Subscribe and ring the bell. Comment your city to let us know where you're watching. Ordinary Monday morning may start my greatest nightmare. I never thought. Life went on steadily predictable. My spouse David and I made a life. I felt we had a solid trust after 15 years of marriage and 2 lovely girls. Everything fell apart instantly. The day began as usual. I flipped eggs in the skillet for breakfast while David rushed to work. He reviewed his day's agenda with his typical serious face, concentrated on his phone. "Don't overwork yourself today," I joked, pouring him coffee. Something was wrong about his tiny smile as he looked up. His warmth was forced, like he was holding back. "You too," he said, grabbing keys. Then I noticed his smallest grin before he left. Not affectionate, but smug, like he knew something I didn't. My stomach felt odd, but I ignored it. David was always reserved, so maybe I was overreacting. I ignored my unease and got the girls ready for school. My world was going to collapse, but I had no idea. The call that changed my life came before 9 a.m. When I showed a young couple a stunning 5-bedroom property, I spoke clearly and professionally about the towering ceilings and open-floor design. Suddenly, my pocket phone vibrated. I rarely answered at work, but when I saw David's supervisor, Mark, on the screen, I felt dreadful. Before exiting, I told my clients to excuse me. "Hello? Junior, visit the hospital." Blood chilled. "What? Why? What happened?" "It's David. He collapsed during work. Testing is underway, but you must attend." I didn't reply. I turned and rushed to my car, my head racing. I felt breathless when I got at the hospital. I ran through the corridors, ignoring nurses' anxious looks. Dazed but alive, David was sitting upright in bed as I entered his room. I felt a momentary relief. Tension in the air caught my attention. His expression wasn't thankful or comforting. Something else, illegible. "What happened?" I demanded. He hesitated, looking at the doctor beside him. "Your husband has an advanced infection," the doctor said. "STIs need prompt treatment." I felt slapped by the words. "An STI?" My body stiffened. As I looked to David for an answer, my heart raced. "I don't understand," I whispered. How could this happen?" David's fingers gripped the hospital bed as his jaw tightened. "Only one way," he continued, his tone stern. "Tell me, Junior." My breath jerked. "Did he blame me? Excuse me?" I whispered. Sensing discomfort, the doctor cleared his throat. "Both of you must be tested. The essential medication will be prescribed. It's crucial to..." Just barely heard the rest. A tunneling vision. David thought I was disloyal. Oh, the horror I hadn't. If he didn't get it from me, that meant one thing. He cheated me. Quiet vehicle journey home. David sat stiffly in the passenger seat, staring out the window, while I held the wheel so tightly my knuckles became white. I wanted to yell, cry, and demand answers, but I didn't. I asked one basic inquiry instead. "How long?" David didn't reply. My exhalation was harsh. "David, how long?" Finally, he spoke. "No idea." My heart twisted. He was unaware. "Was it once?" Shaking voice, I pressed. His jaw tightened. "No." This admission slashed me in the gut. This man had my loyalty for 15 years. I supported him through every hardship. How did he repay me? My world had collapsed, and he couldn't look at me. I killed the engine as we entered the driveway. "Get out," I said harshly. David turned bright-eyed to me. "Junior?" I said, "Leave." He listened that day for the first. He exited the automobile silently. The reality hit me as I gripped the steering wheel. My husband, my life partner, betrayed me. Without even sorrow, he did it. The search for answers after the girls went to bed. I did something new in my marriage. I examined David's belongings. He locked his phone, of course, but his work bag wasn't. I combed it for anything. A hint, a name, the receipt. Then I found it. Hotel keycard. It was weathered, but the logo was clear. Downtown Premium Hotel. My stomach twisted. Shaking hands, I laid the card down slowly. My spouse had a keycard to a hotel we had never been in for one reason. I had proof. Now I could choose. Confront him or play the long game. My face was pale but determined when I looked in the mirror. If David thought he could ruin our marriage and escape, he was wrong. As I entered Gina Hawkins' office, I clutched the folder as if it could save me from the storm. The polished receptionist, with piercing eyes and a friendly yet professional demeanor, smiled at me. Her voice was soothing as she replied, "You must be Greg Watson." "Yes," I said, catching my breath. "Gina awaits you. This route." Gina walked me down a quiet hallway with plaques, framed degrees, and trophies demonstrating her success. The hall ended at a glass-walled office with a beautiful metropolitan skyline view. Gina Hawkins, a quiet, confident late-40s woman, sat behind a polished oak desk. With her black hair in a bun, she donned an authoritative navy blue suit. She rose and extended her hand as I entered. "Greg, I'm glad to see you, but not under these conditions." Her solid grip impressed me as I shook her hand. "I appreciate your time. Of course. Sit down." A chair in front of her desk was indicated. "Why not tell me everything in your own words?" Your father gave me a basic synopsis. I exhaled softly and recalled the past few hours. How I went to the doctor, received my unexpected diagnosis, and painfully realized I could only have gotten it from Marissa. I informed her about the financial paperwork I uncovered and my developing concern that my wife was planning more than an affair. Gina made notes while listening uninterrupted, her expression unreadable. She sat back and tapped her paper with a pen after I finished. Finally, she remarked, "This is a lot to comprehend. Infidelity is the immediate problem. Adultery is a divorce factor in this state. It may affect asset division and child custody." My jaw tightened. Gina nodded. "I don't want her to take my daughters." "Yes, I understand. We'll need proof. Right now, it's your word against hers. Got anything concrete? Hotel receipts? Texts? Emails?" "No," I said. "But I can find out. There must be a way." Gina stopped, then carefully chose her words. "Greg, I must ask carefully. You found an almost $1 million covert bank account. That's unusual. Is this just an affair? Or is there more?" Her question chilled me. Her words opened my thoughts to a terrible prospect I hadn't considered before. "Like what?" asking in a whisper. She sounded serious about fraud, hidden assets, or possibly a crime. "I'm not claiming that, but a large secret account deserves investigation." Swallowing hard, I tried to make sense of it. How should I proceed? Gina said, "Don't confront Marissa yet. She may hide evidence or move money if she knows you know. We must be prudent. I'll start divorce paperwork, but I recommend a private eye." "API?" I repeated. "Yes, someone who can covertly follow her, access records, and reveal everything. What she's been witnessing will be revealed. We'll find her extra cash." It made sense but felt weird. I felt like a thriller character instead of a husband trying to safeguard his family. Gina said she could recommend someone reliable. He's handled similar cases. I hesitated briefly before nodding. "Okay, do it." She called on her phone. "Hi, David." "Gina, your expertise is needed by a client. You available today?" "A break." "Perfect. Can we meet at my office in an hour?" My exhalation. The pace was brisk, but I had to keep up. "Great." Gina said to go home, appear normal, and send me suspicious financial information. "Our strategy will be decided when David arrives." "Understand," I said. She stood and nodded, reassuring me. "Your move is right." I wasn't sure what the appropriate step was anymore, but I had to find out before it was too late. Gina's words raced through my head as I got home. The daughters were in school, and Marissa hadn't returned from her late showing. At the kitchen table, I viewed the bank statements. Where that money came from was the million-dollar question. I knew Marissa made excellent money in real estate, but not that much. My phone buzzed as I was going to scan her documentation. "Marissa, catching up with client. Stop waiting." I was furious again. Typed back. "Okay. The end. No doubt. No conflict." I had to follow Gina's advice. I tried to sleep that night, but my mind kept going. The notion of Marissa in someone else's arms made me queasy. However, the concept that this was more than an affair prevented relaxation. As arranged, I dropped off the girls at my parents' the next morning. I said it was work stress, but they realized something was wrong. Lying was terrible, but I couldn't implicate them. Next, I met Private Investigator David, an unassuming 50s man in a smart suit. He informed me in Gina's office that he has handled dozens of these instances. I'll discover your wife's lover. If she's hiding, I'll find it. He got Marissa's work schedule and financial statements from me. She says she works late on weekends out of town. Explained. David nodded. Traditional design. Surveillance begins tonight. My pulse accelerated. The end. The moment the truth unraveled. But I had no idea how deep this lie went or how bad things would grow. Truth weighed on my chest like a stone. I spent 24 hours pretending everything was normal as a private investigator trailed my wife and revealed facts I never wanted to believe. My hands shook when I got the photographs and notes. My wife laughed, leaning too near to him, sharing moments meant for us. My heart hurt with wrath and grief. She was betrayed by her behavior and her simple lies. I stared at the gloomy windows from my automobile outside our house. My mind was storming. I could face her immediately, demand explanations, and vent my rage. I knew that wouldn't satisfy me. I needed smarts. Maintaining control was essential. I pretended everything was normal the next morning. Over breakfast, she smiled at me like she had for years. But now it felt forced and false. While drinking coffee, she noticed you're silent today. Just tired, I lied. Long night. If only she knew how long. I spent the night putting together her treachery chronology from every message and detail. Not just a mistake. It had been planned, repeated, and worst of all, disguised as love. She touched my hand across the table. Maybe we should travel. Just us. Get away. The brazenness. I swallowed my throat-burning bitterness. Sure, maybe. She had no idea I was planned. It wasn't vacation. Evening, I set the stage. A candlelit meal. Just us two. She found it romantic. She had no idea it was the prelude to the truth. I spoke calmly while eating. Have been thinking a lot. About what? She asked, beaming. Us. We married. Trust. Something sparked in her eyes. Hesitation. I took my phone from my pocket. I set it on the table and played. Her laughing filled the room, but not from this dinner. Her chat with him. Intimate. Secretive. Unmistakable. Her face blanched. You went where? I know everything. I interjected. I was crumbling inside, but my voice remained calm. Messages. Meetings. A lie. Eyes filled with tears. Let me explain. Don't. My words were harsh. Excuses are unnecessary. I need honesty. She stared at me, realizing she was trapped. We were silent for a while. She said finally, whispering. This wasn't planned. How was it intended to happen? I requested. Swallowed hard. I never meant to hurt you. I chuckled bitterly. But you did. Her eyes welled with tears. I was alone. We seemed to be separating. You talked to him instead of me. Her face showed shame as she nodded. Never stopped loving you. Although her words hurt, they didn't alleviate the ache. Love was more than words. It was trust, loyalty, commitment. She shattered it all. Inhaled deeply. Now what? Her eyes scanned me. Desperate. Platone. I wished to fix. But certain problems were unfixable. Following days were fraught with tough choices. She begged for another opportunity, promising to do whatever to fix things. What might I rebuild that was broken entirely? I looked at the woman I loved for years and saw a different person. She may never have been. I packed my bags while she cried in the doorway. Avoid doing this. I looked at her last. You did. I left. Pain wouldn't go away overnight. A betrayal would scar. But one thing was certain. My tale continued. It started a new one. Leaving my marriage was hard, but staying would have ruined me. Betrayal was more than an act. It was about deceit, broken trust, and realizing the person I built my life with wasn't who I thought she was. First time in years, I was alone. It felt horrifying but strangely liberated. I relocated across town to a modest flat. Though small, it was mine. No deception memories lingered. No memories of a life-filled love. The silence was initially overwhelming. Coming home to someone, sharing my day, and falling asleep close to the woman I thought I would spend my life with was normal. Now I was alone with my thoughts. Some nights rage erupted. On other evenings, despair crept in. But I refused to be defined by my past. I had to proceed. My phone buzzed with her message one night. Her. Can we talk? Just once? I hesitated to reply. Me. Why? Her. I must say goodbye properly. Please. I concurred. For myself, not her. We met in a quiet cafe. Her appearance changed. Tired. Remorseful. She shakily responded, I'm sorry. Not to win you back. Nothing to justify. Just because you deserve. I nodded, waiting. I destroyed my best thing, she said. I don't expect forgiveness, but I want you to know I still love you. Inhale deeply. Love is more than feelings. It's loyalty. Trust. Respect. You stole mine. She cried. I know. I rose. I don't hate you, but I can't bear this suffering. I must release. So she nodded, accepting the fact. I wish you happiness. After looking at her, I left. Once and for all. Months passed. Rebuilding myself was my goal. Mentally. Emotionally. Physically too. I went to the gym, picked up old interests, and surrounded myself with individuals that reminded me of myself before the betrayal. I met a new person over coffee. She wasn't replacement. She didn't distract. She seemed strange. We chatted. Friends first, then more. A caring heart, honest grin, and safe warmth characterized her. Hope returned after a long time. Betrayal nearly broke me, but it didn't define me. It taught me my due. I learned stepping away wasn't weakness. Was strong. I realized something while laughing with someone who saw me for who I was. Though I lost my marriage, I gained something much more significant. New start.